The bride's family has to pay a very expensive dowry. Those who cannot afford it have to give up their daughters, or they have an abortion.
They want to know the sex of the child and they want to undergo feticide.
There are 63 million less women than men in India. As for homosexuality, it is punishable with a heavy prison sentence. Prince Manvendra is gay and the son of a Maharaja. He decided to brave the taboos to be in love openly and to change society.
Both my parents, they disowned me by giving public notices in the newspapers.
Between forbidden passions and arranged marriages, this is a closer look at a country torn apart by love. A 1-hour flight from New Delhi, in the rural city of Indore in northern India, it's a very special day for women. Carrying flowers, sieves and incense, they meet up once a year at nightfall. The presence of men is forbidden. These women implore the moon to grant health and longevity to their husbands. This is the festival of Kama Sutra.
मैंने पूछा चांद से कि देखा है कहीं मेरे यार सा हंसी चांद ने कहा चांदनी.
In India, without husbands, women have no status. To protect them, the women pray and fast all day long. This is the first time that Nancy has been allowed to observe this ceremony because she's getting married in a month.
मुझे सेरेमनी देखकर बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ क्योंकि मैं भी नेक्स्ट ईयर ऐसे ही पूजा करूँगी, ऐसे ही फास्ट रखूँगी और ऐसे ही रेडी होंगी. मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए.
Nancy is praying that her fiancé is a good man.
चावल लाई.
She's anxious as she barely knows him.
हम लोग अभी तक बस 2 बार मिले हैं. मुझे अच्छा लगता है ये पिक्चर हम दोनों का. हाँ, स्क्रीन सेवर है ये मेरा. He's so handsome.
Her fiancé was chosen by her parents on a site for arranged marriages. For the festival of Kama Sutra, the women apply henna. This is an opportunity for Kanwal, Nancy's mother, to give her some tips for her future life as a wife.
वो बिल्कुल भी उनको कुछ कहने का मौका मत देना कि मतलब मेरे तक बात आए अच्छे से.
Nancy works as a beautician. After the marriage, she will leave everything to live with her husband at her in-laws' house. She will have to serve them. And Kanwal worries about her daughter's bad habits, especially the lie-ins.
सुबह उठ के सबके भेजो ना बड़ों के और फिर जाके तू चाय वाय देना बना के उनके हिसाब से.
सुबह जल्दी उठने वाला थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
लग रहा ना.
हाँ, नया घर का मैं जब भी सोचती हूँ तो मैं बहुत नर्वस हो जाती हूँ.
In the next room, Pritosh, Nancy's father, is no longer worried about his daughter's future.
No, I'm not interested in all these ladies' work. I'm enjoying this cricket. ये जो मेहंदी का काम है, इसमें जेंट्स का कोई इंटरफेरेंस नहीं होता. Only at the time of marriage.
For good luck, the women write the names of their husbands among the henna designs.
मम्मी के पति तो पापा है, तो मैं पापा ही लिखने वाली हूँ इसमें.
पापा लिख दे. हाँ. Yeah.
Nancy also adds the name of her future husband.
Gaurav.
Gaurav is hundreds of kilometers away in New Delhi. He is also preparing for his wedding with an impressive ceremony. All his family got together to cover him head to foot in a turmeric paste. Gaurav is 29 and he works in events.
रो राइस ले क्योंकि उसमें ऑयल मिक्स है ना तो वो आइस में इरिटेशन हो रही है ना. मस्टर्ड ऑयल एक्चुअली.
This haldi ritual keeps away bad spirits and is supposed to leave the future husband glowing.
मैं लगा रही हूँ ताकि मेरा भाई बहुत गोरा और सुंदर लगे.
To make him feel happy, pampering for the occasion. मैंने scrub करता रहा तो tension मत ले.
It's Gaurav's mother, Anjali, who is in charge.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy.
She was the one who chose Nancy, her future daughter-in-law.
Nancy, मुझे दिखा. उसने मुझे फोटो दिखाई, फोन पे बात कराई. फिर just first meeting in मतलब उसके बाद हम अच्छा लगा. हमने yes कर दिया कि वो हमारे सबकी respect करे and friendly रहे.
Gaurav is very close to his mother and is certain she's made the right choice.
उनके साथ था लव था बट एक फीलिंग कभी नहीं आई थी कि मैरिज वाली. बट नैन्सी से बात हुई, मिला, हम दोनों एक दूसरे से बात की, मिले. Then I realized कि she is the girl कि जिसके बाद मैं शादी कर सकता हूँ.
For Gaurav, Nancy is the right one, but when I ask why, his response is a little less convincing.
Do you know a little bit of her personality?
उनकी पर्सनैलिटी इतना ज़्यादा हम मिले नहीं है, so इतना तो मेरे को आइडिया नहीं है. तो कैसे मैं बता सकता हूँ, आप समझ सकते हो.
In a month, Gaurav will embark on his adult life, but the head of the household will still be his mother.
Mama!
In Indore, Nancy is ready for the closing ceremony of the Kava Chout festival. The women must watch the moon through a sieve. But tonight there are clouds, so they use a picture of the moon on their phones. Kanwal, Nancy's mother, begins.
Mother-in-law ne, mother ne, sab.
She then touches her husband's feet as a sign of respect and submission. Then Nancy looks at the moon while praying for Gaurav.
नेक्स्ट टाइम अपने हस्बैंड के साथ करूंगी.
The wedding is scheduled to take place in a month. The celebration will be spectacular. One reason why arranged marriage is so popular is that it's not simply a question of marrying just anyone. Society is strictly divided into 4 distinct groups called castes. The highest caste, the Brahman, controls society. Below are the Kshatriyas, the warriors. Then the Vaishya, the merchants, and the Shudra, the workers. The untouchables are not even included in the castes as they are considered impure. For families, it is forbidden to fall in love and even worse to marry outside of one's caste. On the other side of New Delhi, in a chic neighborhood, Nancy, the future bride we met at her home in Indore, is getting ready for the big occasion.
बस उन्हें देखना है वो कैसे लग रहे हैं.
This is the third and last time that she will see her fiancé before their wedding. Inside, the two families have come together for the shagun, or the dowry ceremony. Gaurav, the fiancé, is ready. In front of everyone, the young woman sees again the man who will become her husband in less than 24 hours. But when he arrives, Gaurav doesn't look at her once.
क्या खेल रहे हैं यार ये लोग मेरे साथ.
He calmly carries on with the traditional customs. Nancy is waiting, feeling redundant. Finally, Gaurav gets up. The future spouses have had no input at all in their marriage. It's the families who organize absolutely everything. Nancy's father blesses the future couple with notes. This wedding is very expensive for a simple real estate agent like him. he has to cover his future son-in-law with gifts, a gold chain, watch, and above all, an envelope filled with cash. This is his daughter's dowry.
It's depend on my capacity, and I have done more than my capacity. And you can't explain because it looks like very cheap. That's why it's a very close matter, and everything done behind the curtain.
On average, the bride's family spends the equivalent of 2 years' pay for a dowry. And that's without counting this party, which already costs around 12,000 euros. Or the wedding ceremony the next evening. This takes place in a big hotel in the city. Today is another very expensive event for the father of the bride. Pritosh counts his notes.
So, this is gift from our side. Gaurav's father, his uncle, his all the relatives.
An arranged marriage is mostly about money. Nancy is covered with gold jewelry bought especially for the occasion.
मुझे अब finally feeling आ रहा है कि मैं दुल्हन बनी हूँ, jewelry और सब.
However, for Nancy, getting married was not her childhood dream.
हाँ जी, मैं पहले शादी नहीं करना चाहती थी, but अब गौरव मुझे बहुत अच्छे लगे तो इसलिए मैंने decision change कर दिया. ऐसा तो कुछ भी नहीं है.
Her sister's comments make Nancy uncomfortable. Her future husband's family is indeed much better off than her own.
ये बस यही सोच रही हूँ वो कैसे लग रहे होंगे. मैं तो इतनी अच्छी लग रही हूँ, वो कैसे लग रहे होंगे. Overconfidence.
At the same time, Gaurav is arriving in spectacular style, on horseback to the sound of tambourines, adorned with necklaces of banknotes. According to tradition, Gaurav has to negotiate his way in, so Nancy's sister blocks his way. He buys his way in with an envelope filled with cash. Nancy's sisters play the game right to the end. Nancy finally appears in front of Gaurav. Her fully embroidered dress and her jewelry weigh over 20 kilograms. Even though Kanwal arranged everything to ensure her daughter marries well, she's still very emotional to see her go.
Arrange, no love. This is arrange, for sure. No Indian marriage is love. It's arrange.
The couple go around the fire 7 times tied together so that their union lasts for 7 lifetimes.
आज तो फर्स्ट डे है हमारा. कैसे फ्यूचर में?
अभी तो बहुत हैप्पी है, अभी कुछ कह नहीं सकते.
They have only met each other 4 times in total. However, today, Gaurav and Nancy are husband and wife. We continue our investigation into love in India in the rural state of Gujarat in the west of the country. Today is a very special day in the city of Rajpipla. All the inhabitants are gathered for a feast where they worship the warrior goddess Devi. For the ceremony, they are waiting for a man who is attracting considerable attention. The son of the local Maharaja, Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil, a rich man.
Chalo.
Who has many servants, like Champak, 93 years old.
I have kind of always depended on staff to dress me up.
His life should be a fairy tale, except that Prince Manvendra is homosexual. In India, it's illegal and punishable by prison.
So basically, the struggle of coming out was getting acceptance from the family, from the society, and facing discrimination. Both my parents, they disowned me by giving public notices in the newspapers. Yeah, you can start. Yeah, you can start trying.
Officially, the prince risks prison, but his royal status protects him.
There is a very tight piece of fabric around the head, so it does hurt a lot.
The prince donned the traditional dress of the Maharajas to join the party.
Perfect. This is exactly the type which I wanted to have on my head.
Since he came out, his mother has stopped speaking to him, although his father, the Maharaja, finally accepted it. But when we talk to him about his son's homosexuality, he is clearly uncomfortable and avoids the subject.
Everybody, have one own viewpoint, opinion. So that is when anybody wants to, whatever way one wants, one would like to do. So there's nothing about it like that.
After braving the taboos and his family, the prince even got married. And here is his husband. Deandra is American.
How are you doing? Good.
The two men were married in the United States.
It's been a long time. Like, my full title is His Excellency, Ambassador Deandre, Duke of Hanumanteshwar.
He invented this title. Since their marriage, Deandra acts like a prince, but he has no official status.
So a lot of the people still don't accept that he's married and accept that he's married to a man. And then every now and then you get the occasional email that's threatening you.
He's received 100 of these threats by email.
I've been paid an amount of money in advance to terminate you. It's extremely difficult to read. At the same time, some people would say, why would you compromise so much in that sense? Your life is compromised, your safety is compromised. When you come to a place in your life where you have unconditional love for someone, then that's what it is.
The two men were married 5 years ago.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
However, Deandre is not welcome at today's religious ceremony. In the heart of the city around the temple, the prince finally arrives.
It's a duty of our royal family to perform this ceremony.
Manvendra is accompanied by his father, the Maharaja, his uncle and his cousin. Since the creation of the Indian Republic, the royal family no longer has executive powers, but it plays an honorary and religious role.
We are going to be performing this ritual, the last part of the ritual. It's very official and
The locals crowd round the tent to see the prince and enthusiastically pray. At the end of the ceremony, everyone wants his photo.
They were shocked. They were not ready to believe that he is a gay. Very good, lovable person.
Nice.
Prince Manvendra seems very popular among his people, but in this very conservative region, homosexuality remains a taboo.
जो गॉड ने बनाया है उनके विरुद्ध है वो जो वर्ल्ड में जो है ना मेल फीमेल वही रहना चाहिए ना
उनके इंडिया में तो बन ही ना सके बराबर ना ये विदेश के अंदर થઈ શકે बाकी इंडिया में ना बने
In order not to offend the population more, the prince chose not to live in his father's palace. He lives a few kilometers from here in a small house surrounded by countryside with his husband, Deandre.
No one likes my ideas. Once they come through, then everyone's like, oh, that's brilliant.
Away from prying eyes, Manvendra tells us his story. Before he came out, his family had arranged his wedding with a princess. He was 25 years old.
Yeah, the marriage never got consummated, though she tried her best to kind of seduce me and to do all the things which a woman would try to do with a husband.
Unable to consummate the marriage, the prince and his wife divorced. With his husband, Andrei, he has now found a family and a life. On this land, he plans to build an LGBT reception center for homosexuals who have also been rejected by their families. Paradoxically, although homosexuals are not accepted, transgender people have a place in society. In a shanty town in Mumbai, Mona, Chandni, Manu and Raijo are transgender women known as hijras. In 2014, transgender people obtained the legal status of a third sex in India. Hijras are considered mystical beings. Hijras are one of the oldest trans communities in the world, which has existed for nearly 4,000 years. They have the power to grant blessings, especially to newborns. Hijras dance and sing a religious song to ensure the child has a good future. Hijra's power comes from a god. According to legend, this god was half man and half woman for a period of his life.
हम बच्चे पे से उतारते हैं उनका आला बला लेकर के हिजरे जाते हैं ताकि वो जिए.
Even if hijras have an official status, in reality they are shunned by society and find it difficult to find work. These blessings that pay between 2 and 10 euros are not enough. Many hijra live in extreme poverty and prostitute themselves to survive. India is a very young country with half of its 1.3 billion people under 25 years old. Perhaps this new generation will succeed in pushing back traditions to make room for love and freedom.